On the gray truck is on the right side. The first thing you're doing is checking your engine oil. You check to make sure it's between add and full. Always touch the dipstick. Don't touch where you put the oil in at. Touch the dipstick, because that's where you read it from.
What you check for.
Right. Next is coolant. On this truck, you have a reservoir for your coolant. On the gray truck, you have a radiator that you touch the radiator for the coolant on the gray truck. Okay? So, in this truck, you make sure that your coolant is between minimum and max. Maximum, minimum.
So if there is no
If you don't see a reservoir, touch the radiator cap. Well, there's no radiator cap on this one, but if it's a cap for the radiator on the gray truck, you touch that. Yes. To make sure, and then all you say between minimum and max over there. Same thing. Okay? Next, what's next on the list?
Power steering.
Power steering. This is the power steering box. You check to make between add and full, and it's gear driven. You have to tell them it's gear driven.
Gear driven.
Yes, gear. Okay? Next is, what's next?
Next is water pump.
Water pump. We have to go to the other side. Other side. Water pump, you trace the small holes that's coming from the other side of the radiator. See if I can find it. That's the holes coming around. Yep. Yes, inside here, right? Inside of there.
Yeah, he said it. Exactly.
At the water
Inside
pump?
there.
Okay.
Water pump. Inside. No broke. No damage. No leaks. Mounted and secure.
That's water pump?
Water pump.
The same in there?
It's the small holes that still come down in the same area. Okay? Alright? Next is what? Alternator and the belt. I'm checking to make sure they're not broke, it's not damaged, it's not cracked, it's mounted and secure, no corrosion around my wires, no cuts.
All the wires are connected.
Yep. All wires connected, no cuts.
No problem.
My belt, no cut, no more than 3/4 play. Mounted and secure. Okay?
Air compressor.
Air compressor on the opposite side. Air compressor is this unit here. Yep. You see this hose right here? That's a braided metal hose. It's the only type of hose in any of the trucks that leads to your air compressor. You can't go wrong. As long as you see this hose going to a unit, you know that's your air compressor.
Got you.
Air compressor, no broke, no damage, no cracks, no leaks, mounted and secure. If it leaks, it can leak oil, it can leak coolant, and it can leak air. Air, oil, and coolant. No transmission. That's what it can leak. This can leak those things. Okay? He might not ask you those questions, but it's good to know. All right, so now, this air compressor is also gear driven. You have to remember to tell him it's gear. Yes, it's gear. The water pump is gear also. I missed saying that. Gear driven. Meaning that it's not a belt using to make it operate.
Gotcha.
It's all
So
gears.
as long as we don't have the belt, it's a good drill.
Yes. Okay. Next is
What's next?
fan. Let's talk about the fan. Make sure all blades are present on your fan. No broke, no damage, mounted and secure. All belts, 3/4 play, no cut, no damage, mounted and secure. I would check all hoses. No cuts, no damage, no leaks, mounted and secure. Next is a major leaks. Major fluid leaks. We're looking for leaks on the ground. Your vehicle can leak something. You need to know what it is. So you would check it to make sure that it's not oil, coolant, power steering, transmission, or fuel. You want to make sure that it's none of those things are leaking out of your vehicle when you're taking a trip. Okay?
Cool. Transmission fluid. Power steering.
Not water pump. No.
Power steering.
Power steering. Okay, next is, where am I? Steering? Steering. Give me the paper. Give me the paper. Steering box. I'm checking to make sure my steering box is not broken. There's no damage. It's not no leaks. And it's gear driven. Mounted and secure. Okay? Steering. Linkages. You got one, which is your shaft.
Guys, a little bit open
Steering
so we can
shaft. Steering shaft. Step back, let the ones that's got a test me. Steering shaft. Pitman arm. That's number 2. Drag link. It's number 3. Steering knuckle. It's this one. Steering knuckle. Number 4. Steering arm is way down here where the nut is. Steering arm.
Let me show it.
Where the nut is. Steering arm where the nut is. It's a nut right there. I'm holding the nut.
Okay.
That bar that's going across from the nut is our steering arm. Okay? Tie rod is this one right here, number 6. Okay? I'm going to number them again. If you can't say the words, you can go number 1, number 2, number 3,
Number 4.
number 4,
Number 5.
number 5,
6.
and number 6, the tie rod.
The tie rod.
They're all no broke, no damage, mounted and secure. Grease. You got to point to the area where grease is. Here. Grease. All castle nuts are present. There's 3 of them. 1, 2, and 3. Where the arm is. Where the steering arm, right? You need to see it, the pointer.
Yep.
Okay. Steering arm. There's 3 nuts. And Carter keys. These are the Carter keys. Or a pin. You can say pin or you can say Carter keys. Make
Carter
sure they are
keys.
bent. If you can't say the word, just touch it. He'll know what you're talking about. If you can't say the word, just touch it.
So it has 2 names.
Yes.
Carter keys and what?
Or a pin.
Pin.
Either one.
Gotcha. And it should be bent.
Yes, it should be
So
bent.
to be secure.
Yes, so it's locked in.
Properly.
Next is our front wheels. I check my tires. I want at least 432, even, no missing treads, no sidewall damage.
And
You
no
notice
bu-
how I'm going all the way around the tire?
And no bubbles.
Right, no damage means no bubbles, no cuts, none of that. Valve stem and cap is present. And I check inflation with a gauge. And there's no leaks.
Should be 100.
You don't have to say it. You just say you're going to check for leaks. And I check with a gauge, the inflation. Rims. I check to make sure that they're not broke, damaged,
No
and no
wells.
wells. No wells. Lug nuts. You must say all present. No rust, no shine, and they're tight. That's all you got to say.
No rust.
No rust, no shine, and they're tight.
And no tie. And all present.
All present. Hub seal. Hub seal, no broke, no damage, no leaks, and full. Okay? Because you can take this off. That's a rubber. You can open that up to see if it's full.
Oh, it's
Yep.
visual.
Yep, it's visual. You can open this
Gotcha.
and make sure that it's full and there's no leaks.
And it should be full with what? Oil, grease, or what?
Oil or grease, either one.
Gotcha.
Okay, next is front suspension. Check my springs. This is your spring.
Yep.
Shock. This is your shock. U-boat. This is a U-boat.
2 of them.
Yep, 2 U-boats.
Shocks.
Okay.
Spring.
Spring, shock,
U.
U-boats, spring mounts, front. This is what's holding the springs in place. Front mount, center mount, and rear mount. All the way in the back. The rear mounts. I check to make sure they're not broken or damaged. They're mounted and secure. My springs have no missing or shifted leaves, and my shock is not leaking. Those are the specifics you got to say on everything. Now what I did was go through and touch everything, and then I told the specifics. Okay? So, touch it, yes. On your paper, it says spring. You touch it. You say shock. You touch it. You say U-boat. You touch them. You say spring mount. Front, center, rear. Or you can go 1, 2, 3.
There are no cracking, damage, no tissue, no missing shift, spring, no missing shift.
Uh-huh.
And such, no leaking.
Yep. That's it. That's it. That's all you got.